So just before we start, we just wanted to talk about how Google is all about making display advertising work for you. We're really about winning those moments that matter and helping you by engaging the right person at the right time with the right message. And also really making sure that you can enable better decisions through all our rich audience data targeting, as well as our transparent reporting, so that can actually help you make quick and well-informed decisions. We're actually also using all of our technology, as today with this amazing hangout, that we're able to constantly innovate, and we're able to integrate video, mobile and social across multiple screens. So let's just talk quickly today about today's agenda. We'll be going through the value of remarketing and remarketing on the Google Display Network. Dish is then going to talk to you about our new remarketing features. We have the new remarketing tag, remarketing with Google Analytics, AdWords remarketing for lists for search ads, dynamic remarketing for retail advertisers. I'm then going to come back and talk about additional audience solutions. We'll do a quick recap and talk through any Q&A. So let's just talk about the value of remarketing. We all know that remarketing lends itself as an opportunity to re-engage with those who visited to your site. But why should you care? And the reason is that 96% of people that visit a website actually leave without completing the action that a marketer wants them to take. And 70% of people actually abandon their shopping cart without making the purchase. So overall, it's a huge opportunity for marketers to re-engage with those who have already expressed interest and give them another chance to perform the action you were wanting them to do. And more importantly, it's going to improve ROI of all your online campaigns. Think of it as plugging all the holes in the leaky bucket. You're able to maximize the return on your investment of every online campaign by complementing with remarketing campaigns. You're able to drive traffic to your site with your search and your display campaigns, and then win those customers back with remarketing. But what about remarketing on the Google Display Network? Let's just talk about some benefits and some strategies. For those on a typical remarketing list, 84% are actually reached within a month. And we can reach those people 10 to 18 or more days out of the month. And we can reach them when they're visiting 20 or more pages on a typical day across 5 to 10 sites on the Google Display Network. So let's talk about why remarketing is so important for brand advertisers, search advertisers, and direct response advertisers. The reason why it's so great for marketing advertisers is that you're able to drive brand awareness with tailored ads. You're able to continue the conversation with your strongest prospects. And for search marketers, you're able to maximize your investment in search by integrating all your display into your campaigns. You're then able to follow up with those customers across the web. Think about search as the moment of consideration. With remarketing across the Google Display Network, it's about extending that one moment. It's about finding that moment and making it last for longer. And we all know that remarketing is great for direct response, and the reason why is it does drive conversions. You're able to drive conversions with tailored ads and specific targeting. You're able to convert consumers who may have abandoned their shopping cart. And remarketing can drive effectiveness at every stage of the purchasing funnel. So let's just dive into a couple of strategy examples. One reason you could be using remarketing is to reconnect with your customers. Think about it as in myself, who it's a Thursday afternoon and I want to plan a holiday. I might be going on whatif.com and about to be booking a hotel in Bali. Just as I'm about to hit convert, my boss comes past and I close the window. I then get distracted because my phone is ringing, someone sent me a funny YouTube clip, and I haven't converted. What if could actually reconnect with me across the Google Display Network with a bespoke creative saying, click here for 50% off hotels? And another strategy is reaching new customers. For example, the same advertiser could be saying, I want to reach new people. What you could do is you could negatively remarket off your website. You could then reach people that have not yet converted with you. You could reach them on YouTube or on the Google Display Network, and think of some creative like $20 for voucher for new customers. Please also note if you have any questions, just pop them under this video. And finally, another strategy could be video remarketing. This gives you the opportunity to reconnect with your viewers across YouTube with your video content. You'll be able to engage with people who have seen your videos or interacted with your brand channel. You could even use specific calls to actions or external annotations to actually turn that view into a sale. We actually have a great question on this. What are some other reasons that you would use video remarketing? A really great example would be if that you want to be promoting your video content. If you want to have a presence or an online hub on YouTube, you could be driving subscribers to your brand channel with creative saying, join now or subscribe to find out more. You could also use it to increase video views. Once you have someone subscribed, they're more likely to come back and watch more videos. You could also set up remarketing lists of people that have watched, liked, or shared certain videos. And then actually turn that back around. You could shift a video viewer into a site visitor. So instead of targeting people on YouTube, you could target people off YouTube that watch your video clip, therefore driving them who've watched your video to actually convert on your website. And just before we move on, I just wanted to go over a quick case study from Big Cactus, who is an online penny auction site where you can participate in live auctions and try and score deep discount bargains on products. They had two goals here. They wanted to reach potential customers on relevant websites across the web, but they also wanted to re-engage with registered users who had not yet actually made a purchase with them. Their strategy here was they used remarketing features to target precise user groups. They created tailor ads to specific groups for the current users and the new users, and they contextually target the campaign for even more precise results. And what they actually saw here was a 22% lower average CPA compared to their other AdWords campaigns, and a 77% lower average CPA compared to their AdWords display campaigns. So let's just dive into some more of our new remarketing features, starting with the new remarketing tag. I'm going to pass you over to Disha for this section.
Thank you, Linda. Now, many of you are running remarketing with us already. Anyone using the old tag? It's great, right? It works really, really well. Now, the one thing that you do know about it is you have to create multiple tags and pixel them on every page specifically. No big deal. It works, right? However, how many of you have said or have heard your clients say, not another pixel? Well, we have a solution for you now, the new remarketing tag. The reason why it's really powerful is for 4 basic reasons. Number 1, easy tag implementation. So you place one tag across the entire website and use a very simple user interface within AdWords to create your lists. The second one is you can create advanced list strategies. An example would be, for a retail client, target users who've purchased more than $500 from you in the last 1 month. Maybe you can offer them a 5% discount and make them come back to your website. We've also introduced back-end optimization, which basically means Conversion Optimizer can now use remarketing signals to actually help you convert better and help build incremental conversions. The last part is dynamic values. You can actually embed dynamic values. For example, let's take a travel client, or let's take Linda's example. If she's looking to book a flight to Bali, we can exactly know when she's looking to go and the destination and what hotels as well. And based on that, we can show her a tailored ad. The new remarketing tag in that way is really powerful. Let me just walk you through the process. The first step is easy tag implementation. So before you even create the list, you have to place the tag on all pages of your website. The next step is creation of remarketing lists. So within the AdWords interface, you can use your website URLs, like in this case, it's the t-shirt page, and include only words that describe the content of that page. So any user who's come to this particular page will be a part of that list, and you could show them a t-shirt ad around the Google Display Network. What the new remarketing tag also helps is in segmenting your customers. For example, you can break your audience down into different subgroups based on what they viewed on your site. For example, someone who's checking out shoes versus someone who hasn't bought a product on your page, and you could also offer somebody a discount off for the first purchase. And you can customize both your creatives and bids depending on how valuable the user is. The next section is basically talking about how do you remarket or focus your strategy based on the visitor intent. Now, when a user lands the site, the first page they generally reach is the home page. The second is the product page, in this case, a t-shirt. The third is the shopping cart page. Fourth is the payment page. And finally, the confirmation. From an advertiser's perspective, which stage do you think is the most valuable? Obviously, the confirmation page, right? Because they've already made the purchase. But from the remarketing point of view, the increasing customer value is more on the shopping cart abandonment page, where they haven't bought the purchase, or when they're viewing a particular product. This is how you should base your strategies when you decide who to remarket to. As mentioned earlier, the new remarketing tag has gotten really powerful with the new conversion optimizer signals. It predicts the conversion rate for your ad every time they are eligible to appear and can bid up or down in real time using user and contextual signals. This is an example. For advertisers who've opted conversion optimizer with remarketing, we are seeing a 14% increase in conversion growth and an 8% reduction in CPA. As you can see here, a very happy customer is restaurant.com. They say that remarketing has become a significant part of their business, and it's a very important way to reconnect with diners. So to sum it up, the 5 benefits of the new remarketing tag are: number 1, creating sophisticated remarketing lists; one-time unified tagging, where you can integrate them with dynamic ads for reach out to more people; and lastly, automated bid optimization. Oh, I just got a great question from Linda here. The new remarketing tag, how is it different from the old tag? The old tag, as you guys know, you needed a specific tag for every page. And the new tag, you don't need to do that anymore. It's the same tag that's embedded across the website. So your IT guys can be really happy because it literally takes only 10 minutes to implement this tag. Let's move on to the next section, which is remarketing with Google Analytics. Google has just introduced a really powerful integration with analytics and remarketing. You can create advanced remarketing strategies in analytics and import those lists into AdWords. It's really easy to use, simple, efficient, and give you broad reach. So if you have any clients or if you're direct advertisers already into analytics, this is a great product for you. These are some examples or some campaign ideas. You can help the undecided shopper move to a purchase. So you build a list of visitors who've come to your website multiple times, viewed specific pages, and show them relevant ads on the Google Display Network. The second strategy can be finding customers in your location. So for example, for the restaurant case study we just saw, they can offer special promotions to visitors from certain locations where they have their branches. The third one is bringing back the shopper who almost decided to buy, which happens all the time. And as you could see from Linda's slide earlier on, 70% of shoppers actually abandoned their shopping carts. And lastly, you can also earn the love of your most loyal customers. So if you know that a customer is already converted, you can show them a companion ad for a different product, or maybe offer them a discount for their second purchase. A really interesting strategy that can only be done with analytics is something we call time on site. Now, if you're familiar with analytics, you would know that this is a very, very powerful signal. With the connection with remarketing, what you can do now is, in this particular case, we have 2 users who's visited the laptop page of this website. One user has spent 20 minutes looking at the laptop page compared to the second user who's spent only 3 minutes. Now, as an advertiser, you now have the control to bid higher for the user who spent more time on your website and lead them to actually convert. It's a great strategy, right? Before I move on to the next section, we just see a great question here again. The question is, will all Google Analytics customers be automatically upgraded to this functionality? The answer is no. Analytics customers must choose to enable this functionality. And for those advertisers who are interested, it's a small upgrade of the code, and they have to update their privacy policy.
Disha, would Google Analytics remarketing be a good choice if I was, say, trying to target an audience that I know is a heavy social media user?
Yes, that's a great question. So if you have clients who are really heavily embedded in Facebook, for example, or Twitter.com and have lots of pages, analytics can help you remarket based on source. So if you say source equals Twitter.com, you can remarket or continue the conversation on the Google Display Network from your social media channels.
Oh, that's very cool.
So now that we've heard about two different tags, a common question is, there are two tags, which one should I use? So you have the new remarketing tag we spoke about and remarketing with Google Analytics. The simple answer is use whichever solution is easier to get started. Both are easy and more flexible than the previous remarketing system. But remember, the two tags do come with certain unique capabilities. For example, the new remarketing tag offers dynamic remarketing for retail and remarketing lists for search ads. We will be talking about both these products a little bit in detail in the next section. And the analytics remarketing comes with unique segmentation capabilities like time on site, frequency, location, bounce rate, even device type. It's also great for customers who actually want to know what their list size or estimates are going to look like before they remarket. So to sum it up, the benefits of analytics, again, which is recency and frequency, time on site, sequence, and user value. Now let's move on to the next product, which is AdWords remarketing lists for search ads.
It looks like we just have another question, I think.
Sorry, we just have another question. In order to see the question is, I can't see the remarketing option in Google Analytics. In order to see this option, you need to press on the admin button and have admin access. If you do not have this, you won't be able to see the remarketing list option. Thank you, that was a great question. The next one is remarketing lists for search ads. Again, very, very powerful, and we at Google especially are very, very excited about this product. What this product actually helps in is bringing users a customized experience in search. Now, if you look at the slide in front of you, and see Linda's loves shoes, so she is searching for shoes on google.com. So today, what the site can do is show her a simple ad that says shoe sale. However, if the retailer actually applied remarketing, they would know that Linda was actually looking for sneakers on the website and show her a tailored ad that says sneaker sale starts today, making her much more likely to click on the ad and convert. This is just a really simple example. You can use various strategies like bidding up and down using the right keywords for this experience on search. Some simple examples are you can use this particular product to convert new customers. So as I mentioned, you optimize your search bids for customers who have not yet converted on your website. You can cross-sell and upsell as well. So you can customize offers for someone who's already converted on your website. And lastly, you can also enhance your online conversions by bidding up or down or exclude people who have already converted. Looks like we have another question. The question is, could you give an example on how a service can use the new remarketing tool? This question is from Jerome. I actually have a follow-up question for you. What do you mean by a service in this case? Can you give me a little bit more detail, please? You can just post it under the video. While Jerome gets back, let me just continue and I'll address it as soon as I hear something from him. So the 5 benefits for remarketing lists for search ads is expanding your reach, additional layer of targeting for search, which has never been done before actually, increasing CTR and decreasing CPA, leverage really sophisticated data, and recapture consumer interest. This actually, let me just add, a really popular vertical for remarketing lists for search ads is online travel clients. Because they are heavily invested in search and do want to optimize their search campaigns, this is a great campaign for them. Moving on really quickly to dynamic remarketing for retail advertisers. Let me just tell you in advance that this product, as mentioned, is only for retail advertisers. and advertisers who have a Google Merchant Center feed. If you do not have a Google Merchant Center account, you will not be able to use this product. And as you know, at Google, we're continuously innovating, and we hope to have more customized solutions for other verticals in the beginning of next year. But right now, this product is only for retail. So what dynamic remarketing does, it helps display a dynamic creative based on the products that have been seen on the website. Like in this particular case, you can see that the user has been to the Google Store account and looking for a Google Earth tee. So what the system does is dynamically puts together an ad that shows them this particular t-shirt along with 2 other recommended products that they might be interested to buy. Just this simple technique has seen a lift of 450% when it comes to CTR.
Disha, how easy is this to do though? I mean, it looks fantastic, but how much effort is it going to take for an advertiser?
It's actually really easy to do because all you need is a Google Merchant Center account, the new remarketing tag we spoke about, and Display Ad Builder.
Okay.
And the Display Ad Builder actually builds this automatically. So you don't have to build any creatives. You just build the shell, and then it automatically changes the creative, like what the user has viewed, depending on what the activity. Like in this particular case, you can see like what's customizable. You can customize the offer. You can customize what product is viewed, the size, color, also like a male t-shirt or a female t-shirt, and related items related to the catalog. So it's really, really powerful. So the 5 benefits of dynamic remarketing are: number 1, you can tailor the creative. Number 2, it's very product specific, so you exactly know what the user had looked at. Thirdly, you can customize your remarketing lists. 4th, negative remarketing, which is great. For example, if you've already bought that t-shirt from the Google Store, you don't want to be seeing the Google Earth t-shirt again, right? So that's really powerful. And you can optimize bids or bid higher for more qualified customers.
Looks like we've just heard back from Jerome.
Yes. A lot of examples given in retail. I'd like to know a great way to use remarketing tool for a service like Arcade.
I'm not sure what Arcade. So I'm not very familiar with
Arcade, but I think for a service, so remarketing, as Linda mentioned earlier, is for all verticals and honestly for every advertising objective. So it really depends what the objective of your service is. If the objective is for them to, for example, register with you, then you could remarket to them if they haven't completed the registration. Or if the service is for them to sign up or open an account, it can be varied. So depending on what the ultimate objective or what you consider as conversion, the strategy is going to be different. But at the end of the day, think about it. Any advertiser, you want to convert every user who's been to your website. And when I say convert, that's dependent on each vertical, as we just spoke about. So if for you it is a lead generation exercise, you could use remarketing to ensure that you're showing a tailored ad to the user and ensure that they complete the registration.
I guess the good example of that is if you wanted someone to join your email list and they click on the page but they haven't put in their data, you can actually deliver another ad to them and saying, hey, join our data list now, if that is a conversion for you.
And get 10% off on your next service.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. Moving on really quickly, I'm going to hand it over to Linda now to speak about some additional audience solutions. I know we've spoken a lot about remarketing, but the following 2 are really exciting.
Great. So I'm just going to touch on actually something that we are really excited about called similar audiences. So what you can actually do with similar audiences is you could actually expand your current list. So what it actually does is it quickly and very easily takes your proven list and it targets people who have similar interests to those on the list but who have not yet been on your site. So the time that you should be considering this is, are you already maxing out your current remarketing lists and do you need more scale? And are you willing to maybe test a mid-funnel approach and potentially consider a blended metric? We actually see that we're finding 30% more new customers using similar audiences. And we're actually seeing new users click through 71% as often as a user on a remarketing list. And average 3 times the clicks and conversions compared to a standard remarketing campaign. I've just got a question here saying, to use this, will we have to implement any new codes? You don't actually have to implement any new codes. at Google, we're already understanding that pixels are enough, and we were all excited about Smart Pixel and the Google Analytics tag. But this is actually, no, these are already generated and created automatically by Google. And then finally, finding your audience with demographics. So this is a really great way to locate your best prospects based on your age and your gender. So you could actually extend your brand reach within a demographic. So you could customize creative through various demographic groups. You could potentially exclude certain age groups or demographics that you're not interested in for a certain campaign. You could even combine age and gender with other audience targeting tools, such as remarketing, to really get really niche and narrow and reach the perfect prospect. One jewelry advertiser, Blue Nile, actually achieved a 1% click-through rate using demographics. So just got a quick question as well, asking how does Google actually determine these demographics? So it's actually a bit of a blend. We look at the types of sites someone has visited on the GDN to infer those users' demographics, and then we also combine that and overlay it with declared data from publishers across the network. So just before we take a few more questions, I just wanted to do a very quick recap on what we covered, and then we'll just address those extra questions. So we talked about how you can actually maximize your ROI with the new remarketing tag. And we also talked about a couple of advanced remarketing strategies with Google Analytics. And we also talked about how you could actually deliver a fully customized experience on google.com to past visitors with remarketing lists for search ads. We also talked about if you are a retail customer and you do have the Google Merchant Center, we talked about just how easy and efficient it would be used to trial dynamic remarketing. And then just recently we touched on the prospect of new customers with similar audiences and demographics. So do we have a few questions?
Yes, we do.
Cool.
So one question I've got is it possible to use dynamic remarketing without using Google Merchant Center? As of today, this is not possible. We only allow dynamic remarketing with Google Merchant Center. However, in 2013, you can expect a lot of innovation from us in this particular segment, and we would be allowing it without any Google Merchant Center access, and for other verticals as well. The next question is, I own multiple domains. Should I use the same tag for all domains? So this is actually really dependent on the way your AdWords accounts are structured. If you have different AdWords accounts for each of these domains, then yes, you will have to create a different remarketing tag for each of them. However, if you're using the same account, you can specifically have different campaigns for each of the different domains and use the same tag. And as I mentioned earlier, you can just say URL equals just your one domain and create specific lists for them. Are there any other questions that we could address? Please post them below the video.
I think we don't have any more questions at this stage. I'm sure if we do, we can always follow them up at a later date. But we just want to, oh, have we got one more? Someone's changed their mind on that. Hopefully you've already answered it. We just wanted to say thank you very much for your time, and after this we're actually going to be sending a survey link to those that attended. It's really important that you fill that out, and we would really appreciate that because it helps us shape these hangouts and these webinars to be better suited for you guys in the future. So thank you so much for your time. We're really excited about the new remarketing options, and we hope you are too. And have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.